The stars went dark over Luna Base 1 on what should have been an ordinary Tuesday. Captain Jenna Drake stood at the observation deck, her weathered face reflected in the reinforced glass as the sensor arrays went silent one by one. 20 years of military service had taught her to trust her instincts, and right now, every fiber of her being screamed danger. Captain, we've lost contact with Earth Defense Command, Lieutenant Wei Zhang reported, his usually steady voice carrying an edge of concern. All frequencies are dead. Jenna's eyes narrowed as she studied the void above. The stars hadn't actually gone dark, they'd been blocked. The realization hit her like a physical blow. Magnification maximum, sector 7 through 12. The view shifted, and there they were. Massive ships, their hulls seemingly absorbing light rather than reflecting it, moved into position around Earth's orbit. The Chronax Empire had finally revealed itself, after years of dancing around the edges of human space. "Sound general quarters," Jenna ordered, her voice calm despite the gravity of the situation. "And get me a secure line to Admiral Khatri if you can punch through the interference." Warning klaxons blared through Luna Base 1 as personnel rushed to battle stations. Humanity had known they weren't alone in the galaxy for decades, but direct conflict had always been limited to skirmishes in the outer colonies. This was different. This was an invasion. The massive viewscreen flickered to life, showing the face of Admiral Rashid Khatri, his image distorted by interference. "Captain Drake, I assume you're seeing what we're seeing." "Yes, sir, I count at least 30 capital ships, possibly more behind Earth's shadow. This isn't a raid, it's an invasion fleet." "Agreed, and our orbital defense grid just went dark. They've somehow bypassed our most sophisticated cybersecurity measures like they weren't even there." The Admiral's face hardened. "Captain, I'm initiating Protocol Omega, authorization Khatri 773. Jenna felt her blood run cold. Protocol Omega was a myth, a whispered contingency plan that most dismissed as fantasy. "Sir, are you certain?" "The Chronax aren't here to negotiate, Captain. They're here to eliminate what they perceive as a weak, primitive species before we can become a threat, but they don't know everything about us, about our history." The transmission began to break up. "Get to sublevel 12, use access code Prometheus Awakens. You'll understand when." The screen went dark. "Sir," Lieutenant Zhang called out. "Multiple landing craft detected. They're heading for major population centers." Jenna strode toward the exit. "Lieutenant, you have the con. Hold this base as long as you can. I need to get to sublevel 12. The descent to sublevel 12 took her through sections of the base she didn't even know existed. Her security clearance opened doors that had been sealed for what looked like decades. The air grew colder, staler, as she went deeper. Finally, she reached a massive vault door marked only with an ancient symbol, a trident crossed with a lightning bolt. The access panel looked newer than the door itself. She entered the code, Prometheus Awakens. The vault opened with a hiss of equalizing pressure, revealing a circular room filled with holographic displays and a single central pedestal. As she approached, the pedestal illuminated, projecting a message she never expected to see. "Operation Sleeping Thunder Phase 1 initiated. Dreadnought fleet standing by." Screens around her blazed to life, showing impossible images. Massive vessels, far larger than anything humanity had publicly acknowledged building, hidden in the deepest trenches of Earth's oceans. Weapons platforms disguised as dormant volcanoes. A defense network that had been waiting, silent and patient, for precisely this moment. A new message appeared. "Captain Drake, you have been selected as acting commander of the 3rd Dreadnought Division. Do you accept this responsibility?" Her hand hovered over the confirmation panel as explosions rocked the lunar surface above. The Chronax thought they were attacking a weak, unprepared species. They were about to learn how wrong they were. "I accept," she said firmly, placing her palm on the scanner. Around Earth, deep beneath the waves, ancient engines began to stir. The real war was about to begin, and humanity's greatest secret was about to rise from the depths. The Chronax Empire had made a fatal mistake. They had judged humanity by what they could see, never imagining what lay hidden beneath the surface of Earth's vast oceans. As warning signals flashed across her screens showing Chronax forces beginning their invasion, Jenna allowed herself a grim smile. They thought Earth was weak. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. Admiral Viktor Petrov stood in the control center of Mariana's base, 3 miles beneath the Pacific Ocean. Around him, systems that had lain dormant for decades hummed to life. Through the reinforced viewport, he could see the massive shape of Dreadnought Leviathan, its dark hull absorbing the light from the base's external illumination. "Status report," he commanded, his voice steady despite the weight of responsibility pressing down on him like the ocean above. Commander Himiko Yamamoto, his second-in-command, studied the holographic displays floating before her. "Chronax forces have established orbital superiority, sir. They've disabled our satellite network and taken out most of our visible military installations." A slight smile crossed her face. "They're celebrating their victory." "How many civilian casualties?" Victor asked, his jaw tightening. "Minimal. The emergency shelter system activated exactly as planned. 98% of major population centers are secured beneath electromagnetic shielding." She paused. "Sir, we're receiving transmission from Luna Base 1. Captain Drake has activated her command protocols." Victor nodded. Decades of planning, generations of secrecy, all coming down to this moment. "Begin power-up sequence for all Pacific Division vessels. Alert Atlantic Command and Indian Ocean Command to prepare for synchronized emergence." The cavern around them trembled as ancient machinery awakened. What the Chronax didn't know, what no one beyond a select few knew, was that humanity's apparent technological level had been carefully crafted misdirection. "Sir," a young lieutenant called out, "we're detecting Chronax landing forces approaching the Mariana Trench. They seem to be scanning for something." "They sense the power spike," Himiko observed, "but their sensors can't penetrate our stealth fields, not yet." Victor moved to the central command platform, placing his hand on the biosensor. "Initialize Project Titan. Authorization code, Petroveco 97 Delta." The entire base shifted as massive hydraulic systems engaged. Through the viewport, sections of Leviathan's hull began to glow with subtle blue lines, power conduits activating after years of dormancy. "Message from Captain Drake," Himiko reported. "Luna Base 1 is under heavy assault, but they're holding. She's requesting timeline for surface emergence." Victor studied the tactical display. The Chronax had positioned their fleet exactly where the simulation models had predicted, spread out to maintain their orbital blockade, confident in their superior numbers and technology. "They believe they're hunting prey," he said quietly. "They don't realize they've walked into a trap generations in the making." He turned to his crew. "Begin emergency broadcast on all frequencies, clear channel. Message begins to all Earth Defense Forces, maintain current defensive positions. Do not attempt counterattack. Stand by for Operation Rising Thunder." Deep beneath the waves, other bases like this one were stirring. The Atlantic Fleet, led by the Dreadnought Hyperion, powered up its main drive systems. In the Indian Ocean, the Dreadnought Colossus broke free from its moorings, decades of accumulated sediment falling away from its hull. "Sir," Himiko called out, "energy readings from the Chronax fleet. They're preparing another bombardment of surface installations." "Let them waste their ammunition," Victor replied. "Every shot they fire at our decoy bases is one less they'll have when the real battle begins." He activated the fleet-wide command channel. "All vessels begin emergence countdown, combat crews to battle stations, weapons systems to full power." The massive cavern groaned as ancient doors began to open, releasing streams of bubbles into the dark ocean above. Leviathan's engines pulsed, sending vibrations through the entire base. "Message from Indian Ocean Command," the communications officer announced. "Colossus reports ready, Atlantic Fleet signals ready, Mediterranean unit standing by, all deep-sea installations report operational status." Victor allowed himself a moment to appreciate the scale of what humanity had accomplished. While the world above had gone about its business, believing itself newly arrived to the galactic stage, generations of engineers and soldiers had worked in secret, building humanity's real defense force. "Sir," Himiko said softly, "it's time." Victor nodded, sending the command that would change the course of human history. "All fleets, execute Emergence Plan Delta, rise and reveal, show them what humanity has kept hidden in the deep." The ocean began to churn as the massive dreadnoughts started their ascent. Across Earth's oceans, thermal readings spiked as water vaporized around the rising vessels. Chronax sensors, designed to detect standard engine signatures, would be blind to the gravitational drive systems powering humanity's true fleet. In orbit, Chronax commanders were about to learn that their easy victory was anything but. They had judged Earth's strength by what they could see, never imagining that humanity's real power lay hidden in the planet's deepest trenches. As Leviathan rose through the layers of dark water, Victor thought of all those who had worked in secret over the decades, maintaining the fleet, updating its systems, waiting for this day. They had sacrificed normal lives to protect a secret that would ensure humanity's survival. All hands, he announced shipwide, prepare for surface breach. Today we show the galaxy that humanity is not weak. We are not primitive. We are the architects of our own destiny, and we will not go quietly into the night. The water above began to lighten as Leviathan neared the surface. Soon, the galaxy would understand why Earth had seemed so defenseless, so unprepared. Sometimes the best defense was to appear vulnerable, right up until the moment you revealed your true strength. Commander Ryoko Tanaka stood on the bridge of the dreadnought Leviathan as it breached the ocean's surface, seawater cascading off its massive hull like waterfalls. Through the command viewport, she watched the shocked reactions of the Chronax ships above as their sensors finally registered what was rising from Earth's oceans. Multiple contacts surfacing worldwide, announced Tactical Officer Jackson Reed, his hands dancing across the holographic controls. Atlantic Fleet has breached Hyperion taking point. Indian Ocean Command reports Colossus is topside. Mediterranean unit emerging now. The Chronax invasion fleet hung in low orbit, their formation suddenly looking less like a victory pattern and more like a trap waiting to be sprung. Their ships, which had seemed so imposing against Earth's apparent defenses, now faced something they had never expected: humanity's real warships. Status of stealth systems, Ryoko asked, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. Transitioning from aquatic to atmospheric configuration, Chief Engineer Omar Hassan reported from his station. Gravitational drives are fully operational, power output at optimal levels. Ryoko activated the fleet-wide command channel. All vessels maintain emergence formation Delta 7, weapon systems hot but do not engage unless fired upon. Let's show our visitors exactly what they've stumbled into. The Leviathan rose higher, its massive frame dwarfing the Chronax cruisers above. Nearly 4 kilometers of advanced human engineering, powered by technology the aliens had never imagined humanity possessing. Across the globe, other dreadnoughts breached the surface, each one a testament to generations of secret preparation. Incoming transmission from the Chronax flagship, Communications Officer Mei Lin announced. They're demanding an explanation. Ryoko allowed herself a small smile, put them through. The holographic display flickered to life, showing the face of Chronax Fleet Commander Dexar. His typically gray skin had taken on a distinctly paler shade. What deception is this? He demanded. These vessels, they cannot exist. Your species lacks the technology for such construction. Fleet Commander Dexar, Ryoko replied calmly, I believe you're operating under several misconceptions about Earth and its capabilities. Would you like to revise your invasion plans, or shall we demonstrate exactly why we kept these ships hidden? Before Dexar could respond, Jackson called out, multiple weapons locks from the Chronax support fleet. They're charging weapons. Predictable, Ryoko muttered. All ships defensive pattern Omega, show them what we can do. The Chronax opened fire first, a barrage of plasma torpedoes that would have annihilated Earth's conventional defenses. But these weren't conventional defenses. The Dreadnoughts' gravitational shields activated, bending the incoming fire away from their hulls and back into space. No damage, Omar reported. Shield efficiency at 99.8%. They literally cannot hurt us with their current weapon configurations. The Chronax fleet's formation began to break as ship captains realized their weapons were ineffective. Some vessels attempted to retreat to higher orbit, while others maintained their attack positions, firing desperately at the rising human fleet. Message from Admiral Petrov, May announced. Operation Rising Thunder is now in effect. We are cleared to demonstrate capabilities. Ryoko nodded solemnly. Target the nearest Chronax heavy cruiser. Single shot, minimal power. Let's not vaporize them, just show them what we could do if we wanted to. The Leviathan's main weapon system hummed to life, a gravitational lance that could tear apart the fabric of space itself. A thin beam of distorted light reached out and touched the Chronax vessel. The alien ship's shields flickered once and failed, its hull creasing like paper as localized gravitational forces pulled it in multiple directions simultaneously. Target disabled, Jackson reported. Their power core is offline, life support systems intact. Crew appears to be alive but thoroughly rattled. On the command channel, Dexar's face had lost all its arrogance. These weapons, this technology, it's impossible. We monitored your world for decades. You were building chemical rockets struggling with basic fusion power. Yes, Ryoko replied. That's exactly what we wanted you to see. We learned long ago that appearing weak while being strong was the best defense against species like yours. Every shuttle launch, every public space mission, every primitive defense system, all carefully crafted theater. The tactical display showed more Chronax ships breaking formation, retreating to safer distances. They had come expecting to find easy prey and instead discovered they had walked into the den of a sleeping giant. Message from Luna Base 1, May reported. Captain Drake reports the Chronax ground forces are in full retreat. They're abandoning their landing zones and requesting emergency extraction. Ryoko opened a channel to all Chronax ships. This is Commander Ryoko Tanaka of the Earth Defense Force. You have 1 hour to recall your ground forces and retreat beyond the orbit of Mars. Any ships remaining after that time will be considered hostile and dealt with accordingly. We will not offer this chance twice. The response was immediate. Across Earth's atmosphere, Chronax landing craft rocketed upward, desperate to escape the planet they had thought would be an easy conquest. The invasion fleet, its confidence shattered by the revelation of humanity's true power, began a rapid but orderly withdrawal. They're running, Jackson observed with a hint of satisfaction. Yes, Ryoko replied, but they'll be back and they'll bring friends. She turned to her crew. This was just the beginning. Now the real work starts, showing the galaxy that humanity isn't just prepared for war, we're prepared to reshape the very nature of space warfare itself. As the Chronax fleet retreated into deep space, Earth's dreadnoughts took up defensive positions around the planet. The secret was out now, and the galaxy would never look at humanity the same way again. The age of hiding was over. The age of humanity's ascension had begun. Chief Engineer Marcus Torres descended through the hidden levels of the Global Defense Archive, each step taking him deeper into humanity's most closely guarded secrets. The Chronax retreat had bought them time, but the data crystals in his secure case might hold the key to humanity's next move. The archive's quantum-secured door recognized his biosignature, sliding open to reveal Director Amara Okafor. Her dark eyes carried the weight of generations of secrecy. The architect's archive is ready, she said, leading him through a maze of holographic displays. Though I must admit, I never thought we'd need to access it this soon. Marcus nodded, setting his case on the central analysis platform. The Chronax attack changed everything. We need to understand the full scope of what our ancestors built. The archive chamber activated, surrounding them with three-dimensional displays of Earth's history, the real history that never made it into any public record. The data crystals from Marcus's case floated in the scanning field, their contents merging with the archive's database. There, Marcus pointed to a timestamp from 50 years ago. That's when everything changed, when we first detected the Chronax probe at the edge of our solar system. The display shifted, showing the first grainy images of alien technology approaching Earth. But instead of panic, the response had been calculated, methodical. Earth's leaders had made a decision that would reshape human history, to hide their true capabilities and prepare in secret. Director Okafor, a voice called from the entrance. Dr. Raj Patel, head of the Gravitational Physics Division, hurried in. You need to see this. The data from the Leviathan's first combat test, it's far beyond our theoretical models. The holographic display updated, showing the Dreadnoughts' battle performance. The gravitational weapons hadn't just disabled the Chronax ships, they had rewritten the local laws of physics themselves. Our ancestors were brilliant, Marcus mused, studying the readouts. They knew we couldn't match alien technology head-on, so they developed something entirely different. While the galaxy focused on plasma weapons and energy shields, we mastered gravity itself. Amara pulled up another file, the original Project Titan briefing from decades ago. The public thought we were struggling with basic spaceflight, while down here we were building ships that could bend reality. And the Chronax played right into our hands, Dr. Patel added. Every primitive rocket launch, every seemingly failed experiment, it all reinforced their belief in our technological inferiority. The archive's displays shifted again, revealing the true scope of humanity's preparation. Hidden bases under every major ocean, training facilities buried beneath mundane military installations, a network of quantum communication relays disguised as ordinary satellites. But there's something else, Marcus said, accessing his final data crystal. Something we found in Leviathan's deep archives during the battle. Director, I think we discovered why the architects chose this path. The holographic display transformed, showing a galactic map marked with ancient battle sites. Civilizations that had flaunted their power only to be destroyed by stronger forces. Species that had revealed their technological advances only to become targets for more aggressive races. They saw the pattern, Amara whispered. Our ancestors realized that in the galaxy apparent weakness was the best defense. That's why they created the Dreadnought program. Dr. Patel studied the combat data scrolling past. These ships, they're not just weapons, they're a statement, a declaration that humanity won't follow the same path as those fallen civilizations. Marcus accessed the final file, and a new hologram appeared, a message left by the original architects of the program. The figure that materialized was wearing a uniform from decades past, but his words rang with present urgency. To those who inherit our legacy, we built these ships not for conquest but for survival. The galaxy is vast and often hostile, but humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to adapt, to plan, to prepare. The Dreadnoughts are more than vessels of war, they are the guardians of Earth's future. Use them wisely, for they carry with them the hopes and sacrifices of generations. Amara touched a control, freezing the playback. And now the galaxy knows about them. The question is, what do we do next? Marcus brought up the tactical display showing the retreating Chronax fleet. They'll return with allies. Other species will come, either to challenge us or to demand our technology. We need to be ready. Perhaps, Dr. Patel suggested, that was part of the plan all along. Not just to defend Earth, but to change the balance of power in the galaxy itself. The archives displays updated with new data streaming in from the Dreadnought fleet. Across Earth, hidden facilities were coming online, revealing the true extent of humanity's preparations. What had seemed like scattered defensive installations were actually part of a vast, interconnected network. The architects didn't just build us a fleet, Marcus realized, watching the data flow. They gave us the tools to reshape the galaxy, not through conquest but through the revelation that appearances can be deceiving. That true strength lies not in what you show but in what you keep hidden until the right moment. As if in response to his words, new alerts appeared on the tactical display. More alien ships were approaching the solar system, not just Chronax vessels but others as well. Some appeared hostile, others merely curious. The galaxy had noticed Earth's emergence and now everyone wanted answers. The time for hiding was over. The age of humanity's revelation had begun, and with it, the real test of the architect's legacy would commence. Fleet Marshal Diana Wolf stood on the command deck of the Dreadnought Hyperion, watching as alien ships gathered at the edge of the solar system. 3 weeks had passed since the Chronax retreat, and the galaxy's response had been exactly what the architects had predicted decades ago. A mix of fear, curiosity, and calculated aggression. "Status report," she commanded, her voice carrying across the bridge. First Officer Zane Rahman gestured at the tactical display. "We've identified vessels from 7 different civilizations, Marshal. 3 appear to be battle fleets, 2 are diplomatic missions, and 2 seem to be observation groups. And the Chronaxes, still gathering forces in the Arcturus sector. Intelligence suggests they're trying to form a coalition against us." Diana allowed herself a grim smile. The Chronax were playing directly into humanity's hands, just as the architects had predicted. Every attempt to unite other species against Earth only served to reveal humanity's true position in the galaxy. "Message from Earth Command," announced Communications Chief Olivia Chen. "The diplomatic corps is ready to proceed with Operation Revelation." Diana nodded. This was the moment the architects had prepared for, not just the defense of Earth, but humanity's emergence as a galactic power on their own terms. "Open channels to all vessels in the system," she ordered. "It's time to show them who we really are." The holographic displays came alive with faces from across the galaxy, alien commanders, diplomats, and observers, all watching with a mixture of fear and fascination as humanity prepared to reveal its final secret. "To all vessels approaching Earth," Diana began, her voice translated into a dozen alien languages, "you have come seeking answers about our sudden revelation of advanced technology. Some of you come in peace, others with hostile intent. All of you will receive the same truth." She gestured, and the tactical display transformed, showing a complete map of human space, not just the public territories but everything. hidden colonies, cloaked research stations, and a network of gravitational corridors that humanity had built in secret while pretending to struggle with basic faster-than-light travel. Humanity's apparent weakness was a choice, she continued. For generations, we prepared in secret, knowing that in this galaxy, visible power attracts challengers, but hidden strength ensures survival. The Chronax invasion didn't reveal our capabilities. It simply provided the right moment to show what we had chosen to conceal. On screens across the gathered fleet, data began streaming a carefully selected information about Earth's true technological level. Not enough to reveal their critical secrets, but sufficient to make their position clear. We don't seek dominion, Diana explained. We don't want conquest. What we want is something far simpler, the right to exist and develop without interference. Our dreadnoughts aren't just weapons, they're a message. A demonstration that appearances can be deceiving and that rushed judgments about a species' capabilities can be costly. The alien vessels shifted in space, their commanders processing this revelation. Some moved back, others held their positions, but none dared to make aggressive moves toward Earth. Marshal, Zane reported, we're receiving responses. The Centauri Confederation is requesting immediate diplomatic relations, the Vega Alliance is withdrawing their battle fleet, and the Chronax coalition is falling apart. Diana watched as the tactical display updated, showing the shifting allegiances and possibilities spreading across local space. This was what the architects had worked toward, not just survival, but the chance to reshape galactic politics itself. Humanity stands ready to engage with peaceful civilizations, she broadcast to the assembled ships. We offer trade, cultural exchange, and scientific collaboration, but know this, we will never again hide our strength. The age of deception is over. The age of humanity's true emergence has begun. As if to emphasize her words, the rest of Earth's dreadnought fleet rose from their oceanic hiding places, taking up formation around the planet. Each vessel was a masterpiece of engineering, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Message from Luna Base 1, Olivia announced. Captain Drake reports that the Quantum Defense Network is fully operational. Earth is now protected by technology that most of these species don't even know exists. Diana surveyed the alien ships, remembering all those who had sacrificed to make this moment possible. Generations of engineers who had worked in secret, soldiers who had trained for battles they might never fight, leaders who had maintained the illusion of weakness while building unprecedented strength. The galaxy wanted to know who we really are, she said to her crew. Now they know we are humanity. We don't need to conquer to be strong. We don't need to dominate to be secure. We simply need to be ourselves, innovative, determined, and always prepared. As the alien vessels began repositioning themselves, some departing, others moving to establish diplomatic contact, Diana felt the weight of history shifting. The architect's grand plan had worked. Humanity had revealed itself not as a victim, not as a conqueror, but as something far more interesting, a species that had mastered the art of strategic patience.